Welcome back to the Blue Chip Breakdown, Vols fans. I'm your host, Bull. In today's video, we'll be talking about the NIL market. It has changed over the past few seasons, and this is something that everyone wants to know about. How much are our players getting paid? We'll be talking about our transfer players specifically, but we'll also talk a little bit about the entire team. Now, we got some good information from 24/7 Sports talking about what the current market is, but P and I know so many high school players and coaches, college players and coaches, and people involved in NIL at various different positions. So we have a pretty good insight to, how this thing works. And I'll kind of throw my 2 cents in as well. And we're just going to narrow it down and see how much Tennessee paid for our transfer players. But please make sure to like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so when most of us think about NIL, we're thinking about pay for play, which is exactly what it is. And it's been going on in college sports forever, especially in football and basketball. The difference now is that it's legal and the players are making way more money than they ever could before. And we all know about Nico Iamaleava allegedly getting $8 million in NIL money to come to Tennessee. Caleb Williams allegedly getting $10 million to transfer from Oklahoma to USC. And Jaden Rashada has been all over my newsfeed personally, from turning down $9 million at Miami to try to go on to Florida and get $13+ million. And that's been a huge mess. But I wanted to bring up this graphic right now just to show y'all what the current market is for players in the transfer portal. And you can see that the market has kind of corrected itself. Now, a lot of what we just talked about, or, two of those players anyway, were fresh out of high school. The only player that was a transfer was Caleb Williams, and that was still just an outrageous number. But this right here, I think, is a pretty good indication of about what the players are getting paid based off of what I know. I can tell you this is a little bit on the lower end, especially if you're a very special player. You're going to get a lot more money than this, but it's not going to be necessarily as much as like a Caleb Williams or a Nico or a Jaden Rashada type of an offer. So let me pull up this graphic here for y'all just to show y'all what I believe our incoming transfers in 2024 got paid. So the first one, Jackson Moore, transferred from Stanford. He was a 3-star in the portal. His range as a defensive lineman is between 250 to 600,000. I believe that he got about 300,000. Next player is Lance Hurd. He was a 4-star in the transfer portal, but he was a 5-star coming out of high school. Everyone wanted him. Okay, he was very highly coveted, and his range as an offensive lineman is between 350 to 500,000. I think we paid him about 850,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was even more than that. Next player, Miles Kitselman, 3-star transfer at tight end. Now, I had to make a range right here just because it's not on the 24/7 Sports list. So what I did here is I just kind of mix in wide receiver and offensive line, and I think that their range will be anywhere from 79,000 to about 275,000. And I believe that we paid him about 150,000. And the next one is going to be Jalen McMurray, who's a transfer cornerback from Temple. He was a 3-star in the portal. His range as a defensive back is 120,000 to 225,000. I think that we paid him about 200,000. And we also have Chris Brazel, who was a 4-star in the portal. Now, his range as a wide receiver would be 75,000 to 300,000. I think we paid him 400,000. And just like I said with Lance Hurd, I would not be surprised if we paid him even more. Everyone wanted Chris Brazel. And the next guy is Jamad McCoy. He's another cornerback. He was a 4-star in the transfer portal, 120,000 to 225,000 as a defensive back. I believe we paid him about 400,000 as well. And next we have Jacoby Thomas, who was a transfer safety from Middle Tennessee State. He was a 3-star in the portal. His range as a defensive back is going to be 120 to 225,000. I think we paid him right at the top of the scale, 225,000. And the last player is going to be Holden Stays, 4-star transfer tight end from Notre Dame, and we have his range at 79,000 to 275,000. I think we paid him about 300,000. Like I said, with all the other people that I have going over what the range is, I would not be surprised if it's more. Now, down here at the bottom, we see that the total for our transfer players is about 2.82 million. And the range would have been from about 1.1 million to about 2.6 million. Keep in mind that mine did go over because I think that we paid a little bit more for some of these players. And that's not even counting the guys that we asked to come back for one more season that we had to take care of. Let's talk about Cooper Mays and John Campbell. Those guys had to be somewhere in the ballpark of what Lance Hurd is getting because he's brand new to this team. And we've heard from the insiders, and the coaches have kind of hinted at this as well, that they don't want to disrupt the locker room chemistry by overpaying a new player. Well, when you have veterans that's been here, that served their time, that's put in all the work, that's given their all for Tennessee, and, you're underpaying them. Like, you just would not do that. So it's a safe bet to say that whatever Lance Hurd is getting, and I have him at $850,000, again, that's just speculation, but whatever he is getting, those two players would for sure be somewhere in that ballpark as well. Also, on offense, we've got a guy like Brew McCoy who could have gone on to the NFL. And the same thing could be said about really all these guys. But Brew, I think, still had a pretty good upside, even coming off of the injury. He had to make a decision on, am I going to come back or am I going to go into the NFL? You know that the staff took care of him. On defense, Keenan Pili, he has a whole family. He's 25 years old. We took care of him. Big O, Omar Norman Lott, those guys are veterans. We took care of them as well. So I'm estimating that just, the guys that we asked to come back, which I would consider for, this part of the video as transfer players, with the actual transfer players in 2024, I think that we spent anywhere from about 5.5 to about 6.5 million just on them. Now let's talk about the rest of the roster. Some of y'all might be thinking too, hey, is this, is this like a yearly thing? Well, I can tell you there's players that I do know that are playing Power 5 football that are blue chip players are getting, I've heard $25,000 a month, which is about $300,000 a year. So yeah, these numbers are probably going to be what they're making on a yearly basis. I don't really know exactly what everyone on this, on this roster is getting paid, because I don't know if everyone is getting paid. Yeah, I would hope that they are to some degree. On the lower end, though, I would say maybe about $50,000, right, yearly. And then on the higher end is going to be Nico money, right? So anything in between that. But I would just have to anticipate that we're probably paying anywhere from close to about, 15.5 million per year to maybe 20 plus million a year just on NIL. That's a whole lot of money, but it is worth it, especially if we can win a national title. And, we were all in this season, right? You could tell that the staff said, man, look, we're going to go out and get everything that we need and make sure that we address all the issues, because we have Nico who's going to be a starter, and the staff believes that we do have a chance to win a national title. So, hey, us paying whatever, $10 to $20 million for a national title, I think that would be very well worth it. How well is this going to work, or how much can we sustain this moving forward? I don't know. But if you do win a national title, then you don't have to pay as much in NIL. Something else that I want to just kind of throw out there that we have talked about before briefly is with the tax situation. Tennessee not having state taxes is huge, because, $5 million, we'll just say, in Tennessee goes a lot further than $5 million out in California. So that's always going to help us. And, winning will help to get more donations and things like that. Now, hopefully we have some sort of a way to, I guess, compensate the people that are donating to our program. But that's going to be it for this video. Please let me know y'all's thoughts down in the comment section. If you have any more information specifically pertaining to Tennessee, or, heck, with any other program, if you know about what their NIL is, what their, I guess, salary cap is, please leave that down in the comment section. But as always, thank y'all so much for sticking all the way to the end. And please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks. Peace.